Revenge films.
Ever since we got married, my mother-in-law, who lives an hour and a half away from us, has been visiting us a lot, without calling first. She comes when my husband is at work and rummages our house. She says that the food in the fridge is rotten and throws them in the sink. Of course, I tried to resist, but I'm small and she's well-built. "Kylie put poison in it," she said about my husband's expensive wine and threw it away. Then, after she goes away, the house is always a mess like a burglar came. "You're depending on medicine. That's why you won't get well." She even said that and threw the medicine away. When my husband was in junior high school and was pronounced with a disease, his mother was more eager than anyone else to question the doctor. And she even bought several books about the disease. But why did my husband lament? Using the fact that I was home, she put her clothes and shoes inside a paper bag. She went out of our house and shouted, "Kylie, please let me in." The neighbors gossiped about what happened. My husband and my father-in-law are on my side, but she never listened, no matter what they said. My husband cut ties with her and promised me that he'll find a new job. My father-in-law agreed to cutting off the relationship. At that time, I discovered that I was pregnant. Ever since we got engaged, my mother-in-law kept saying, "Hurry and give birth to a boy." Her attacks were horrific. My husband is the younger brother, but she said, "Your older brother should just do whatever he wants as a couple while he's in his 20s. Just as she wanted, we found out early that our baby is a boy. Then my mother-in-law suddenly became kind of a completely different person. I had bad morning sickness, so she asked, "What do you think you can eat?" and went to buy food for me and cooked for my husband as well. I was a bit suspicious, but my morning sickness was terrible, and I've become less cautious. I think it was really stupid. That day, she came to our house, like always. The doorbell rang, so I opened the door, and, bitch! My mother-in-law, with a devilish-looking face, jumped on me, and I pushed myself down to the floor. Looking down at me as I crawl on the floor, she stomped on my lower belly. As a result, I miscarried. However, after that, she said, "I made you miscarry your baby, but do you have any complaints?" My brother-in-law and his wife were furious. Then she went over the top and uttered very abusive things. So my husband, father-in-law, and brother-in-law totaled her. Then my mother-in-law said to my brother-in-law's wife, who she treated like her own daughter, "Everyone is bullying me." She asked for help, but she was told, "I will never let you meet my child after I give birth." She was driven away and is left stunned. The reason why my mother-in-law made me miscarry was that after getting pregnant, before my brother-in-law, she said that I was a bitch for carrying a baby boy, who threatened me to give birth to a boy ever since the engagement. But she pretended she didn't hear. I wanted to finish her, but I didn't dare do it. So I decided to finish her slowly and painfully. Her family has a diabetic history, so she's been very careful with what she puts in her mouth, but it was hereditary, so she became diabetic.
With these numbers, it's not enough to take medication. You don't need to come often.
So she only needed to go see the doctor once every 3 months. My husband, father-in-law, brother-in-law, and his wife, with their approval, the day after my mother-in-law went to the hospital, I immediately put the plan into action. She doesn't listen to me, but I'm a registered dietitian, so she trusts me when it comes to food. Your numbers are good, and the doctor always praises you, so it's a waste if you don't eat what you want. Right. She loves sweet foods, so I used that to my advantage. Just like always, she came to our house without telling us in advance. I made a rich gâteau chocolate cake, her favorite. She flinched for a second, but immediately said, "I made this with sweeteners that don't raise blood sugar levels that a dietitian friend of mine developed." So, she ate a piece and her face lit up. "I'll make it any time you ask me, so just contact me," I told her with a smile. Maybe it's because she's always been restraining herself all this time that she came almost every day for sweets. I made different kinds of sweets so she wouldn't get tired of them and lose interest in it. Every time, I'd say, "I used artificial sweeteners to make these as well so you can eat them." After she ate a lot, I asked her politely, "I also bake cookies. Please eat this as dessert after dinner." Then, with a smile on her face, she went home. Maybe if I wasn't a registered dietitian, I don't think she would have trusted me. Because I'm a dietitian, I told her she can eat the sweets, and also because she loves sweets, she probably shut down her doubts. When she went to see the doctor, the numbers were already very high. Then she was diagnosed with diabetic kidney disease and was hospitalized immediately. She finally realized that the sweets I baked for her were the reason and raged. Then my father-in-law and husband came with green paper. My father-in-law asked for a divorce, and my husband and his brother cut relations with her. That's when my mother-in-law finally realized what she'd done. She wept with guilt. "I said something horrible to Kylie. I want to apologize." Of course, I didn't want to meet her or forgive her. Crying, she signed the green paper. When she was discharged from the hospital, only her things were left in their house. They were living in her childhood house. It's rude to say, but it's small and old and dirty. Even when sold as a vacant lot, it will be less than the market price, which is only about a few $1,000s. Just when they were planning about making my father-in-law's childhood house a vacant lot and used his retirement money to build a new house there, I marked into their family, and my mother-in-law acted like that, so that plan was no more. After the divorce, my father-in-law sold his property. With his retirement money and several $1,000s, he went to the place where he'd always wanted to live ever since he was young. Just around the same time, my brother-in-law had a job relocation and went there with his wife. As for us, my husband changed jobs and got his assignment request approved. So, we moved to a place near my childhood house, which is far from my mother-in-law. By the way, my father-in-law gave us a percentage of his retirement money to us.
Even though we're already divorced, what my wife did is unforgivable. And I know that it's not something that can be resolved with money, but please, accept this.
What he gave was a huge amount of money, despite being a percentage of his retirement money. We can't receive this much money. This money is a result of your hard work. That's why, please use it for yourself.
Please, think of this as money I used for my unborn grandchild. If he was born, I wanted to buy many things for him and take him to different places. She broke that dream into pieces with her selfish feelings. So if you want to help me out, please take this. Besides, I don't need that much money where I'll move to. If ever a new life will be born, please contact me. I'll happily come.
My father-in-law said, and we decided to accept it. Then, just as he wished, I got pregnant with another child at the place where we moved to and gave birth to a cute baby boy. When I reported it to him, he cried tears of happiness. A month after the baby was born, he came to visit. After being abandoned by his husband's mad children, my mother-in-law's neighbors gossiped about her and became isolated. We moved, but I was still in contact with her former neighbors, so I received information about her. Rumors say her prognosis is not good, but I don't regret it at all.
How was today's video? If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Stay tuned for more.